From its very first steps, the Soviet government was forced to repel attacks from external and internal enemies, defend the independence and territorial integrity of the newly formed state, and lift it out of isolation. In accordance with the decree of the Council of People's Commissars, on December 20th, 1917, the All-Russian Extraordinary Commission under the Council of People's Commissars for Combating Counter-Revolution and Sabotage, the Cheka, was established. It was headed by Felix Dzerzhinsky. During the Civil War and foreign intervention, Cheka bodies had to engage in intense struggle against numerous enemies of the Soviet state. On the basis of Army Extraordinary Commissions and military control organs, a special department of the Cheka was created. Its tasks included combating counter-revolution and espionage in the army and navy, fighting counter-revolutionary organizations, and organizing intelligence work in territories occupied by foreign powers or by White Guards. At the same time, from the very first months of the Cheka's existence, attempts were made to conduct intelligence operations abroad. By order of the chairman of the commission, intelligence points were established behind the lines of the Kaiser's troops in Ukraine, Belarus, and the Baltic states, as well as in Central Asia and the Caucasus. Simultaneously, former Tsarist professional intelligence officers successfully operated abroad on behalf of the Cheka. Staff Captain Alexei Lutsky in the Far East, and Major General Pavel in France. The war with Poland and the complex relations with Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Finland sharply highlighted the need for more complete and high-quality intelligence to support the country's leadership. In September 1920, a decision was made to radically reorganize foreign intelligence. On December 20th, Cheka Chairman Dzerzhinsky issued Order No. 169 on the organization of the Cheka's Foreign Department as an independent intelligence unit. This order became the administrative and legal act formalizing the creation of Soviet foreign intelligence, whose successor today is the Foreign Intelligence Service of the Russian Federation. Among the first leaders of the Foreign Department were Yakov Dovtyan, Mir Trilizer, and Artur Artazov, under whom intelligence achieved significant results. In the early years, foreign intelligence focused primarily on combating white émigrés abroad who posed a serious threat to Soviet Russia as a base for counter-revolutionary groups. Obtaining information about foreign states' subversive plans against the country was also of vital importance. The operations Utrest and Syndicate II exemplify the Soviet foreign intelligence's fight against armed white émigrés. By the early 1930s, the Foreign Department had organized legal residencies in neighboring countries, as well as in England, France, and Germany, and began conducting intelligence from illegal positions. Foreign intelligence also began acquiring scientific and technical information necessary for the defense and national economy of the Soviet Union. In the 1930s, with the rise of the Nazi regime in Germany, international tensions sharply escalated, and preparations for the Second World War became active. Openly fascist and authoritarian regimes were established in a number of European countries: Hungary, Italy, Bulgaria, and Spain. In this context, the leadership of foreign intelligence decided to strengthen operations in Germany from illegal positions. Spy illegal. Fyodor Paparov was sent to Berlin. He managed to recruit Augusta, the wife of a prominent German diplomat and assistant to Foreign Minister Ribbentrop. From September 1929, a responsible Gestapo officer, Willy Lehmann, Bredenbach, cooperated with the Berlin Residency, providing the center with a significant number of authentic documents. A special role among Soviet intelligence sources in Germany was played by the anti-fascist organization Red Orchestra, which included Harold Schulze-Boysen, a sergeant and intelligence officer in the Ministry of Aviation, and Arvid Harnack, a Corsican philosopher and senior government advisor in the Ministry of Economy. On October 3, 1938, the People's Commissar for Internal Affairs issued an order to establish a special-purpose school for centralized training of intelligence personnel. Students were recruited from civilians with higher education, and experienced intelligence officers were invited to teach. The school's first graduates played a significant role in activating intelligence operations on the eve and during the Great Patriotic War. In May 1939, Pavel, a young graduate of the accelerated special courses of the school, was appointed head of foreign intelligence of the NKVD. At that time, the new chief was only 32 years old. During the harsh war years, intelligence provided timely and critical political and military information. On January 18, 1942, the 4th Directorate was created within the NKVD to oversee frontline operations. It was responsible for forming reconnaissance and sabotage groups behind enemy lines and was headed by General Pavel Sudoplatov, who was also deputy head of Soviet foreign intelligence. During the Great Patriotic War, 2,200 operational detachments and groups operated behind enemy lines. For exemplary execution of special tasks, 9 career foreign intelligence officers were awarded the title Hero of the Soviet Union. Leaders of illegal residencies, Ivan Kudrya, Viktor Lyagin, and Vladimir Molotsov. Commanders of reconnaissance and sabotage groups, Stanislav Vukchasov, Dmitry Medvedev, Kirill Orlovsky, Nikolai Prokopyuk, and Alexander Rabsevich. And illegal agent Nikolai Kuznetsov. During the war, both legal and illegal Soviet foreign intelligence residencies operated in the United States. The legal residencies in New York and Washington, led by Vasily Zarubin, achieved significant results and contributed greatly to strengthening the country's economic and military power. The illegal residency, led by Iskak Akhmerov, actively recruited several valuable sources. In England, a mid-1930s illegal agent group led by Arnold Deutsch became widely known as the Cambridge Five: Kim Philby, Anthony Blunt, Donald MacLean, Guy Burgess, and John Cairncross. From 1941 to 1945 alone, they provided over 18,000 secret and top-secret documents. One of the main directions of Soviet foreign intelligence in the 1940s to 1950s was scientific and technical intelligence. Its greatest achievement was obtaining information about the creation of the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project. On June 15, 1996, by decree of the President of the Russian Federation, the title Hero of Russia was awarded to 5 veterans of foreign intelligence: Leonid Kvasnikov, Anatoly Yatskov, and Leontina Cohen, all posthumously, as well as Alexander Feklisov and Vladimir Barkovsky. Earlier, on July 20, 1995, Morris Cohen, the husband and comrade in arms of Leontina Cohen, was posthumously awarded the same high honor. Nearly 50 years later, the homeland duly recognized the efforts of these intelligence officers. Thanks to their work, crucial information on the military use of atomic energy was obtained, enabling Soviet scientists to break the US monopoly on nuclear weapons. The defeat of Nazi Germany and militarist Japan did not improve the international situation. Trying to prevent the weakening of their positions, the ruling circles of the countries, former USSR allies, pursued nuclear blackmail, the Cold War, creation of aggressive military blocs, and the arms race. Accordingly, one of Soviet foreign intelligence's main tasks was to monitor preparations for a military attack on the USSR using nuclear weapons. In addition, it gathered information to support the current foreign policy of the Soviet state, including plans of Western powers regarding the USSR, and closely followed crisis situations related to West Berlin, the Middle East, and the collapse of the colonial system. Immense credit for addressing these tasks goes to illegal intelligence officers: William Fisher, Rolf Abel, Joseph Grigulevich, Conan Young, Hero of the Soviet Union, Georgy Vartanyan, Hero of Russia, Alexei Kozlov, and George Blake. In March 1954, to improve the activities of state security organs, the government established the Committee for State Security under the Council of Ministers of the USSR. Foreign intelligence became part of it as the first main directorate. For more than 15 years, it was headed by Alexander Sakharovsky, under whom counterintelligence, scientific, technical, and illegal operations developed actively. From 1971, the post of head of foreign intelligence was successively held by Fyodor Mortin, Vladimir Khrushchev, and Leonid Shebarshin. On September 30, 1991, academician Yevgeny Primakov was appointed head of foreign intelligence. In October of the same year, foreign intelligence was removed from the KGB and became an independent structure. On December 25, 1991, the President of Russia signed a decree on the transformation of foreign intelligence into the Foreign Intelligence Service of the Russian Federation. Since July 1992, Russian intelligence has operated on a legal basis, established in the law on foreign intelligence and in the regulations of the FIS. Its focus is on timely detection and neutralization of external threats, preventing covert or overt interference in the internal affairs of the state, and creating favorable conditions abroad for implementing Russia's international policy. At the end of 2009, Russian intelligence acquired its official symbols. The presidential decree on establishing the heraldic sign, emblem, flag, and banner of the Foreign Intelligence Service of the Russian Federation came into effect on November 6, 2009. On December 15, 2009, in the St. George Hall of the Grand Kremlin Palace, President Dmitry Medvedev presented the banner of the Foreign Intelligence Service of the Russian Federation to its director, Mikhail Fradkov.